Hi guys, Luca here from Sabre Airsoft with another video in the workshop. We are officially back in the workshop. It is now warm enough that I can actually stay down here. And I thought, what a better way to kick that off than to talk about the toolkits that I've been raving on about on my Discord. And that is the Gun Power Tools toolkits. We're going to focus on this one because this one I think is the one that's going to be most valuable to people. I will talk about this one. But this smaller one and the slightly bigger version of this, I think will be the most useful to the average airsofter. The reason being is that it's a small compact tool case, it's durable, it doesn't open easily by itself, and it has what I consider every single bit that you might need for an airsoft day. Now, it's not going to have everything. It doesn't, for example, have any valve tool keys, but then neither does my iFixit kit. But it also then doesn't have loads that you don't need. For example, oversized Torx bits, undersized Torx bits, or JST, for example. As generally speaking, most people are not going to be taking their replica fully apart on site, unless you're me, because that's the kind of nonsense that I do. But that's why I carry a lot more tools with me when I go to sites compared to the average person. In this box, you'll get most sizes of hex bit, all the way up from, I can't quite recall what the smallest is, 0.7 I think it is. So from 0.7 all the way up to 4. And you'll notice that this is a straight piece, and that is because this is a 4mm shank. All of these that work with the smaller driver are 4mm shanks, and it also comes with this really handy extension bit. We'll come back to that and why that's useful. It also comes with PZ and Phillips head, all the way down to Phillips head 000, and then for the flatheads you have 1mm all the way up to 4mm, and then from the Torx bits, the smallest Torx in here is T4 and the biggest is T20, and that's in this small kit. The good part about this is it fits in your pocket, and it's an aluminium Cerakoted case, and this is Cerakoted as well, I believe. I could be wrong on that. David, if you're in the comments, I know you will correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I do believe that the case and that wrench there, sorry, that driver are Cerakoted. Now, I'm not sponsored by Gun Power Tool. If you watched my video where I interviewed them at IWA, that was my genuine reaction. I was genuinely really impressed with these toolkits, and I had seen them before on the wholesaler, but I hadn't really considered buying them in, either for myself or to sell, because, well, I have my iFixit kit, and why would I want to replace that? And even now, I'm probably still going to use this kit, but less frequently, and that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, these bits feel more durable. I have put them under some serious pressure, and they have not broken. Unlike my iFixit bits, you'll see that I'm actually missing some. Now this one here, the 3mm hex bit, that I'm missing because someone borrowed it and never gave it back. The T20, that one I'm missing because it broke. The Torx bits couldn't handle torque apparently, and I wasn't even using very much. Can't tell you how much because I don't know. The flathead bit here, that broke. The adapter down to the 4mm shank, that lost its spring. The driver here, the bearing is coming off, unscrewing itself. All of these things combined mean that after a year, I think I've had this, maybe a year and a half, it's starting to become less and less useful. I'm missing important regular bits. The drivers are starting to fall apart. This driver ends up not being able to fit into most areas when I need it to. It also doesn't have the ability to grab it easily with a wrench or something like that to get additional torque, because it's got a triangle shape. I'm not sure about this one. I believe this is the same. Yeah, again, you can't really grasp one with any kind of additional tool in order to get additional torque in order to unscrew something, which in airsoft is usually needed. Whereas this kit does have that. It's got a flat here, and I've tested this with an adjustable wrench. When I needed to get extra purchase, I simply did that, and I was able to undo the things that weren't previously coming undone. And it's Left a mark, yeah, but not much. And even then, it's a tool. I'm not too fussed. So that's the small kit, and there is a larger one as well, which comes with a more normal sized bit. Can't quite recall what the size of that bit is off the top of my head, but it is, the driver on that one is shaped like a 50 caliber bullet. As far as I can remember, it does not have the flats on it. Instead, it has spiraled grooves. So I would face the same problem that I do with the iFixit kit. However, when it comes to putting things back on and like putting accessories on, or hand guards and handrails, that's where you need something like this. This is a torque wrench. This was the main thing I was excited to buy for myself, because I've never actually owned one until now. However, now I have bought one and I do own it and have used it, I don't want to ever not have a torque wrench. Now, this isn't as fancy perhaps as some of the other torque wrenches you can buy there that make that really nice satisfying clack sound when it reaches the right torque setting. It does, however, give a very visible and easy to notice feedback that you have reached the right level of torque. And if you're on the higher torque settings, it does make an audible click. However, when you go to the lower settings, it gets quieter. And as you go down to the most common, which is 15, for example, which is just there, which is below the official dial, I might add. The dial doesn't actually go down that low. That then becomes very quiet, especially as you're trying to get it on there very slowly. As you can see though, adjusting the torque level is very easy. You just pull this out of the back and rotate. There are 10 increments for £10 per inch. It's ratcheted and you can change the direction. You should not, however, use this to undo things, as you can potentially damage the torque wrench in doing so. Instead, you should use something like a normal driver. In the box, you also get, again, a wide range of bits. The bits that are included are some of the more common sizes that you will need to torque down. For example, I believe this is a 4mm. Nope, wrong, 5mm. This is a 4mm. This is a 6mm. It's the round numbers, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, with the Torx bits, I believe this isn't the biggest, but this is a T30. And the smallest is a T7. Generally speaking, you're not going to be torquing down screws that are any smaller than that. This is a 2mm bit, and that's a 2mm bit there. And these extensions are really, really useful for getting into tighter spaces. Let's try and see if I can find a good example of where that might be useful. So this, a lot of you may be familiar with this, is my VMP2. As you can see, I've scratched it up quite a lot here, and that's from using various different bits, not just the iFixit kit, but other ones as well. And that's a 4mm screw that's in there, and with this bit, there is so much clearance that I can get in there without any real issue. But if I wanted to remove it, let's get the 4mm bit out of this one. Again, I'm not worried about scratching it up with this because it's that much thinner. And if I was worried, I can just put in this extension here. And now I don't have to be worried. And that's what I like about it. So far, there's only been 1 or 2 instances where this hasn't been useful. The most obvious to me is in getting stock screws out of AEGs. Not going to be very useful for that, but that's where I use other tools. So I'm not saying that you should go out and buy one of these off of my website now. It is available, and I would appreciate the support, as would Alice. However, for the price, which I'll put on the screen now, this fits in your pocket, is easily portable, and you don't have to worry about things falling out of it because it will be closed and it will stay closed. This is very, very nice and handy to have, what with the magnetically held lid, but it is magnetically held, and I have had this fall off, which is why I've got now a Shadow Foam toolkit, which stops that from falling off. And then you don't have to go fishing through all of your kits, try and find all the bits that have also probably fallen out, and the driver as well. Of all of these bits in here, I don't use very many at all. I use some of the Allen wrenches, a couple of the Torx, not anymore because I lost all of the most important ones, and maybe the Phillips head and JST. All of these things like this, in Airsoft, I have zero use for. So they just sit in there gathering dust. Whereas these, I know I'll use these. These might end up gathering a bit of dust, but all of these I will use. And I have used a few of them already on a VMP2. So if you do want to, if you go, well, I've already got a toolkit, cool, then that's fine. I'm not saying you need to replace your toolkit with this. I'm saying if you are in the market for a toolkit, I highly recommend gun power tool ones because they are high quality, good price, and just overall really, really useful. These are also available with, I believe, or will be available soon with Heavy Recoil Club. They've done a collaboration with Gunpowder Tool, but I, myself and Alice, we're not associated with Gunpowder Tool. I just genuinely like these kits. So if you want to get one for yourself, you can do so on my website. I'm sure there are other places you can get them as well, but I'm not sure entirely where else sells these. There are other tools as well. There's a valve toolkit, which I might pick up at some point. I haven't decided yet. There's a gun cleaning rod as well, which is an aluminium rod. I'm a bit iffy on those just because metal on metal, it's aluminium, so it's soft, but if you're putting it down, say for example, a brass barrel, you might end up scratching it up. Now it's not got very any sharp points on it, but I would still be wary of that. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. Catch you on the next one.